here among us the new generation of global companies. This is the inaugural meeting of this new community of the World Economic Forum, the Global Growth Companies.
达沃斯论坛在中国举办夏季年会，这说明中国经济发展越来越吸引世界的目光，为世界的发展、进步与和谐发挥积极作用。这应该是达沃斯论坛的精神。
This is a very significant event. It is really the first ever get-together of this new community that we call New Champions. These are companies you might not know or have heard of before, but I tell you, they are shaping the industries all over the world. If we want to be at the forefront of change at the forum, shaping global, regional and industry agendas, we have to have some actors there as well. And the actors of change are here in this meeting.
由达沃斯精神引发的大连精神，将激励我们在更大的范围、更广的领域、更高的层次参与全球经济的合作。同时呢，也担负起我们作为一个新领军者城市的责任，为共同推动世界经济和谐发展做出贡献。
And we want to be able to embrace those companies, provide them a platform that they can reach out to the broader community, and also they can recognize their global responsibility. Here we focused on 5 specific thematic areas for the program. The first, we look at the overall shifting global environment. Here the changes are taking place in the macroeconomic environment, as well as the geopolitical environment.
First of all, talent has no passport, and we still think that we have to locate talent based on our local requirements. But Globalization 2.0 has done something phenomenally impactful, and probably not impactful for the people in this audience, but certainly for the young people of the next generation, because it has made possible to be a seamless participant into a logical process without being physically in proximity.
是跟硬实力是分不开的。去年 ICBC 在成功的进行世界上最大的 IPO 220亿美金，以后我们又成功的经过我们的发展，现在成为世界上最大市值的银行，已经超过了 SHBC， 超过了 Citi。 而且成为全世界市值第3大的企业。
Great opportunity for Russians who've been out of the system of the international network the last 70 years, and the last 15 years been busy internal reorganization, restructuring. Now become part of the community, which needs to be knowing each other and trust each other. Because in the end, it's always about people. You know a person, you trust person, you can deal with them.
The second area we take into account are the new business models. This includes new frontiers in technology, whether it's nanotech, biotech, environmental technologies, as well as how to compete in a world where IPR and the nature of it is quickly changing.
I think what has been very useful is for these young leaders, if you like, the young global leaders, to interact with the more established leaders.
In the same meeting, in the same place, you can talk to a very small company, a startup, which is trying to, learn about what we are doing. And the other thing, on the other hand, you can learn a lot with senior guys that, built multi-billion companies. So it's really exciting. It's really interesting.
Most of us have had mentors, and otherwise we wouldn't be in the positions that we are in our companies. Here, I think it's a dual role. One, these new champions are developing companies in different cultures that we can learn about and learn the keys that make them successful. On the other side, that we can help them as they want to expand and go globally in terms of what are the things that they have to do to help develop their companies to be recognized citizens in this global economy.
Well, innovation seems to be pretty high up the priority list for many companies in many different industries here, because they're all relatively high growth and they need to compete and they need to differentiate themselves, and they seem to be very interested in innovation.
The third area that we take into account is what we call the DNA of the new champions. What are the soft skills that are required for business leaders today? How do they manage to retain talent? What's expected of leadership? How's this changing from previous conceptions of what's required?
I sincerely hope that in that new spirit of the new champions, there is absolutely built in a way of thinking of a liberalized market, open market, and following the rules and regulations that we are used to have a fair level playing field.
I'm very much impressed with those energy from young leaders.
A number of people I've talked to that are in their 30s and 40s who are real pioneers, who are taking their businesses forward in a way that I never would have thought of.
我认为现在摆在我们企业面前的，就是需要进一步的创新，进一步的建立企业社会责任，这是很重要的。
成长型的企业来说呢，有3个要素是非常重要的。那么第一个的话呢是这个战略眼光，第二个的话呢是它必须要有这个自己的核心竞争力，第三个呢它是这个能够去懂得呢这个怎么样在全球范围内去进行合理的这个资源的配置。
The fourth area looks in depth at going global. How do you actually take your company overseas, from financing to talent to strategy to M&A? All the various aspects that are very important as the company engages overseas.
I don't really believe in global growth. You can grow globally, but you're going to have to do it multi-locally or multi-regionally and find different people for each of these sectors.
And I think this Dalian event is really help us to get a better perspective about what's going on across the world.
Project management is a business of relationships. People need to trust you. To trust you, they need to know you. And so this is a great place for us to come. So it's a great opportunity to meet present, past, and future clients.
It gives you a better comparison from other emerging economies, and it also gives you a better comparison status from the emerged economy, so to speak. So it gives a formative idea on what we want to do as a company and as a group, and what we want to try and achieve.
Whether you were in North America or in Asia or in the Middle East, you heard in different sizes and manners, but the core of the issues were the same. So it is a big village today, and we got to channel these issues together to get over them.
We wanted to take advantage of being here in China to give our participants an inside look at what's really happening, whether it's in the policy environment, the capital markets, or the overall changes in consumer patterns.
I think China sets a tremendously important example in the developing world in particular of an economic model of growth. But soft power comes when you're ready to sacrifice a little growth for a principle. Okay, that's how you get soft power.
Actually, there is nothing more relevant going on in the world economy today than the Chinese effect. So we should all be aware of it and look after the great opportunities that this represents to all of us.
We expect to see the Chinese banking sector assets double in the next 3 to 4 years. That means we'll reach roughly $12 trillion a year around 2010 or 11. That means probably Chinese banking sector will be the largest ever banking sector in the world.
那么我在这里也非常诚恳地邀请各国的政要、企业家和理论工作家、理论专家参加我们在天津举办的达沃斯论坛。
We felt, so it's a very special group of companies which have not been really taken care of and understood in our global system. I'm very pleased to tell you that the founding members, that there are 127 founding members of this community. And I greet you. Please join me here for a final celebration of the community of global growth companies.